How's it going, everyone? We're going to take a look at the S.H.Figuarts Spider-Man integrated suit from the movie No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home. So I forgot I had this on order and it came to me today, so that's a pretty nice surprise. There are other S.H.Figuarts of this figure tied to this movie coming out. So you had the one where he's in the black and red suit, but I didn't pre-order that one. I didn't order it because the suit design is very similar to the Far From Home one. There's minor differences, and since I've got that figure, I didn't want to I just wanted to save some money, so I stuck to getting this particular suit figure. And then of course there's going to be the black and gold reverse suit, which is I believe coming out either later this month or next month, something like that. So it's integrated suit and then a gold suit, which I'll check out later on as well. But in terms of packaging, this is a really nice compact little box for this particular figure. It's Spider-Man, so he doesn't come with a lot, and he's a very lean figure in general, especially with S.H.Figuarts figures. Spider-Man is one of their leaner figures for sure, and he only comes with the hands down there, the web lines down there, which are pretty much standard affair parts for Spider-Man figures. But if you want to keep them on display, this is a nice little compact little box for that purpose. You can still see the figure inside, or you can just slot him away nicely as well. So we'll go through the parts and then we'll go through the figure. By the way, you do get an instruction sheet in the box as well, so legit copies should always come complete with the instruction sheet too. So it doesn't come with a lot of parts, as you can see. It's just the hands here and the web lines, and then these bits which I'll explain. He doesn't come with eyes. That's pretty surprising. I thought, I didn't realize that. But let's just go through them. So he comes with the two fists already attached to the figure there, you can see. And then he comes with the webbing hands, the thwip hands, as you might expect for a Spider-Man figure. Without these hands, then it wouldn't really be a true complete Spider-Man figure. So he comes with these, and these are... So the color thing here is, it's not black. It might appear black, but hopefully it shouldn't. It's like a midnight blue. That's how I describe it. I like the midnight blue shading. It might not be truly screen accurate. I don't recall actually, but I like the coloring on it. And then you've got the red detailing there, the trims around the kind of fingers and the back of the knuckles, you could say there. And you can even see the web shooter there as well in the palm. So that's pretty cool. A little bit of ribbing on the fingers too. There is some flex to some of the hands, so just try not to flex it too much that the hands end up bending and damaging. So this Spider-Man also comes with wall crawling hands. Any figure without this wouldn't be complete, right? This also has the same midnight blue and the red detailing there. And you can kind of see even clearly on this hand as well, the web detailing on the blue area there. Really nice. These are textured. The whole suit is textured, which we'll go into more detail when we get to the figure. And the final pair of hands that Spider-Man comes with are to hold a web zip line, which you may notice he doesn't actually come with. But if you did have those, or if you had it from a different Spider-Man figure, you just got to slip the web line into the crunched or scrunched fingers there, and then he holds onto it. But otherwise, the details on this tiny little hand are the same. So you can see the web details there, the midnight blue, and then the red again on the back of the knuckles, and then of course the web shooter action bit at the palm bit there. Really nice hands, generally speaking. By the way, if this is your first S.H.Figuarts Spider-Man, these hands and the fists are very tiny. The figure itself is pretty slim and slender, so try not to lose those particular hands in general. They can be lost. So moving on to the only web accessories he has is going to be just two web shots, same size. These are a little bit translucent, you can see here, rather than being a solid white or something like that. I can't remember actually what the last Spider-Man figure had, or the last one that I actually opened had. It may have been this kind of shade or color, or it may have been a little bit more on the more solid opaque side. Can't remember. But sadly, you only get two of these, a pair of them, one length, no zip line. And then, yeah, no eyes as well. So actually, if we refer back to the instruction sheet, it even tells you, basically, buy another figure to get the eyes. And that's going to be the black and gold suit. So buy those. So these two parts here, or this part, actually. So this, you can use this for two things. One is to take off the cap on the back, which we'll get to in a little bit. And then this bit here is when you take off this Spider-Man head, you can remove the eyes. You can actually do that. Just like the other S.H.Figuarts figures, but you don't have eyes to swap it in. You're expected to get that from the black and gold suit. I'm expecting the previous S.H.Figuarts figures' eyes may work on this figure too. If you have those, I do have those. I always pack away my stuff, so I can't be able to get it out, sorry. But the black and gold suit will definitely work. I'm not sure 100% on the previous one, but that's what you're supposed to do. It kind of sucks that they did that, so this already tells you this is a very bare bones figure. You're not going to get the extra kind of stuff with it. But they've given you this tool, so it's weird, honestly. It's a bit weird. But then on this side, you can see it tapers out down there. That's to take off the back peg, which I'll show you really towards the end of the video. And this kind of relates to that. So you just plug this in to that back bit I'm going to show you later to use an action stand if you've got a third-party one or the Tamashii one that you want to use. Now we come on to the actual figure, and on first appearance, I do like the way that it looks. I don't know if it's actually 100% true to screen accuracy. Usually they're not. I don't mind that necessarily. It does remind me a lot, though, of the very first S.H.Figuarts Spider-Man MCU figure that they did. That was supposed to be the Iron Spider, and that was terrible, right? The actual design of that figure was pretty poor. It was not screen accurate, but the articulation was sound. It was very good. This is pretty much like that, and pretty much the same kind of build and articulation, I guess, as the more recent Spider-Man figures as well. My memory might be a little bit off there. For example, things like the thong element here might be a little bit different in this figure than it was previously, but I don't think it is. I pretty much am sure that this figure is going to be the same as the more recent one, which has been a while for me. But otherwise, yeah, I like the way he looks. Now, as I mentioned, the whole costume is actually textured just like the very first Iron Spider that MCU Tamashii Nations, S.H.Figuarts, a lot of terms here. Basically, the very first Spider-Man that Bandai released for MCU, that had the textured look as well. This has a similar sort of texture going on throughout, but I think it just looks nicer. I think the color blocking and the actual suit design is a lot better here. Again, it may not be 100% true to screen accuracy. Typically, Bandai don't follow that. They follow that later with other releases, but it looks good from where I'm standing. It's not my favorite suit, though. The thing I have with MCU suits is that they change suits so much, Spider-Man in particular, obviously to sell merchandise, that it's hard to actually memorize and remember exactly the details on the suits. So we can see, obviously, he's got the gold spider emblem there, which I remember does spread the whole suit as well. And that kind of goes through to the back where it doesn't end up being, it ends up just being the legs and this hollow on the actual spider bit there. You can see it's very cool. I do like it. You've got a lot of red trimming going on here as a suit design. I can't remember if that's the case with the actual film. But you got a lot of that. What I did notice, though, with this figure, it may just be mine. I'm not 100% sure. Leave a comment if this is definitely on yours as well. But you can see the red throughout the suit from head to toe is one shade. But then this little bit here on the pecs, even into the shoulder, have more of a gloss finish. And it's same here. And then even at these two bits here. So I have no idea if that's supposed to be intentional or I don't know. I have no idea. And again, I don't know if that was the case in the film as well. I can't remember. So very strange, but it's not bad. It's not a huge thing really. It's just harsh lighting. It might kind of shine a little bit more and reflect a little bit more, but it's not bad, to be quite honest. The midnight blue, though, that I mentioned on the hands, so you can see here it's not jet black. I think it looks nice. I'm a big fan of midnight blue as a color overall. It's one of my favorite colors. Blue as a shade is one of my favorite colors, but midnight blue, love it, and I love the way it looks on this figure as well. Depending on the lighting conditions that you've got on your display, this can pop or really kind of blend in nicely. Not in a negative way, but nicely. So that's really cool. Really like the midnight blue. But again, not my favorite suit here, but all the details seem pretty much on point. You got a lot of kind of detailing down the leg here as well, which is kind of untextured. It's just kind of cuts in and it's all smooth and all of that good stuff there. And some of that kind of happens on the arms as well, a little bit. More so on the thighs, but a little bit on the arms. We'll finish then with the soles, which are pretty interesting. Kind of a webbed look to them, but they're definitely detailed and not plain. So that's cool attention to detail there. Oh, and then actually, here's web gauntlets too, which have some sort of detailing there. You can kind of see little turquoise paint jobs here and there, some kind of textured sculpting there as well. So little details here and there. But again, if it's screen accurate or not, that's something I'm not really going to do side-by-side comparison with, but it looks okay overall. But moving on to articulation, this Spider-Man is pretty much going to be the same as the more recent S.H.Figuarts Spider-Man, I recall, so it's excellent, to be quite honest. He's got a lot of range. His head comes off a little bit. He's got a lot of range of motion throughout head, arms, legs, you name it. There's a lot to play with there. He's got a twist at the bicep there, bending on the elbow. His bend of the elbow does kind of flex a little bit the other way, which is okay. I know some people in real life that do have that. Got the hand, wrist bit there. It's a little bit obstructed because of these little gauntlets, which do move. And then when it comes to swapping the hands, that can get in the way too. But the torso section is also very good. Mine's a bit squeaky. You can see there as well. And then the crotch area. Some people I know don't like the thong look that happens with Spider-Man figures from S.H.Figuarts. I think it looks okay. I think the color here blends in a lot better than it did in the past. So that's probably helping it. But I'm sure some people still don't like that. And it's not just for Spider-Man. Some people don't like it for some of the Dragon Ball figures either. But he's got lots of range of motion there. You can kind of see he lifts his legs up. And he can pretty much bring his chest to his legs, which is great. You should be familiar with this if you've got, you know, previous S.H.Figuarts Spider-Man figures. Then this is all familiar territory for you. Great ankle stuff as well. Wrist stuff. I keep saying ankle. But wrist, not wrist. Ankle. I was right the first time. And then the toe as well. So he does get into really, really nice kind of bringing his body close to his legs really nicely, naturally, and it just looks good as well. The only thing I have with it is, even though he does that, I still think like Mafex kind of looks better because of the way that's sculpted, the muscles sculpted. The musculature on this guy is very lean, so he still looks a bit kind of boring, I guess, but it is fun to pose. There is that. As I kind of touched on earlier, you can take his head off, and you can also remove the eyes with that little tool. Just poke them out there, and then on the back panel to use the stand, you've got to use the tool that they provide. It's a little bit tricky to do because it's so small, but let's try and take it off. So this panel, you kind of got to pinch it there, and then feed that little tapered end bit at the end. I'm going to probably take several tries to do this. Let's see, it's a bit trickier to do it on camera for sure. But once you've got it off, you reveal the actual socket there that you can plug the action stand accessory port into, or directly into it. Try not to lose the panel piece here because it is tiny as well. And then for swapping hands, that's just going to be a case of pulling the hand off. Just hold on to the gauntlet bit because you don't want to yank that off. It does move, as I mentioned, but it didn't yank off for me. That's okay, prefer that. And then you can just swap that with another hand. I'm just going to use the, well, open hand here. Actually, no, let's do the webbing. So the webbing, you got to sandwich in like so. Because of the gauntlet and because of this thick webbing bit here, it does make it a little bit tricky to swap his hands for sure. I've got it upside down intentionally just so I can kind of see what I'm doing, but then you just got to push the hand in. I don't really like using this hand. Again, the gauntlet gets really in the way for this particular figure. They're massive, so it's a bit tricky to do. I might just end up giving up here. I tend to just twist it, see what happens. Hopefully it kind of goes in. Then once you've got that in, you can kind of maneuver this web line around. Let's do that. There we go. I think we've got it. We've almost got it. There we go. I don't really like the way the sandwich system works. Other figures do it. I'm not a big fan of it. And in this case, because of the gauntlet, that just kind of gets in the way even more. But at least I got it on and it looks pretty secure, as you can see. And that's basically all he's got to swap. There are no other parts. So that brings us to my overall thoughts then of the figure, which I think is very plain as a package goes. The fact that it doesn't come with additional eyes or extra web parts is a bit disappointing, to be quite honest. It is a cheaper figure, that's true. I did get mine from CD Japan at the regular retail price, so that was okay. But yeah, the fact that they're making you get the black and gold suit to get the additional eyes is a bit disappointing. The next figure is going to be the black and gold suit, and to be honest, that's going to basically be just a reskin or repaint of this. So as far as this figure goes though, if you like this suit, then this is going to be fine. If you don't like S.H.Figuarts Articulation or their Spider-Man figures in the past, then this isn't going to change your opinion. I do, however, like the Articulation. I enjoy it. I think as a Spider-Man figure, I way prefer the comic stuff from Mafex, but it still is a cool figure to play with and to pose. The suit looks good as well. It's okay. It's not my favorite. It looks good, but I like the midnight blue in particular. That looks really nice. And if you're a really big fan of that gold spider chest piece, that's really going to stand out too. Overall, I wouldn't totally recommend this figure. I think there's better Spider-Man figures out there. In fact, I would just say save your money, get the Ben Reilly Mafex if you can still get that, or wait for the symbiote black suit Spider-Man from Mafex as well. They're going to be much more enjoyable figures in the long run, I think. Still, I hope you enjoyed a look at this Spider-Man integrated suit from No Way Home. And hopefully I will also do an unboxing for the black and gold one when that does drop as well. So swing on by for that. In the meantime, take care and I'll see you in the next one.